Welcome to the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast.
My name is Jen Clark.
And I'm Elka Clark. We are a mother-daughter team who started our Zazzle e-commerce businesses over 10 years ago and have sold over $15 million worth and counting of products on Zazzle with our designs on them.
We had so many people asking us how we did this, so we created the Profit by Design Academy, a 12-month coaching program where you will implement the 5 strategies we have used for success on Zazzle.
When we aren't coaching our amazing clients to reach millions in sales on Zazzle, we love cooking food from places all over the world that we've traveled to, jet-setting to our next dream destination, spending quality time with our close friends and family, or having fun creating our next bestsellers in our own Zazzle businesses.
In this podcast, we share actionable steps you can take to make money in your online business using Zazzle. Each episode will take you one step closer to creating that perfect business, which will give you the freedom to live your dream life.
We believe that you can have anything you dream of as long as you work smarter, not harder. We're here to give you the tools you need to make your dream life happen. So let's get started.
Well, hey there, it's Jen, and welcome to another episode of the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast. And today I'm going to be talking to you about getting rid of procrastination to help your online business grow. Procrastination is something that affects all of us, whether you mostly are extremely efficient or if you're not efficient at all. But procrastination sometimes creeps in, and I want to help you understand that procrastination is, let's say, almost a good thing in certain ways, but we also want to understand what procrastination is a bad thing and how we can fix it so that it doesn't hinder your online business sales, okay? And here we're talking about it with respect to creating your online business and your Zazzle business particularly, because I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about some of my personal stories from my Zazzle business, some clients' stories from their Zazzle business, but this can also be applicable to just your lifestyle in general. It doesn't have to be about online business. It could just be about your life and what you get accomplished and how you actually take certain actions throughout your day to either not do what you're supposed to be doing or to show yourself that you want to do something, but it's actually not something that's worth your time or that maybe you're even capable of doing right now based on the capacity of what you've got going on. Okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the points that I want to cover, and then we'll dive right into the episode. So I'm going to be talking to you about what exactly is procrastination and why procrastination might be, as I said, showing you things that maybe you don't need to be doing and you can source out or even change. And then I'm going to give you some exercises to help with procrastination and really hone in on why you might be doing certain things in your business or why you might not be doing certain things in your business. And then I'm also going to prompt you with the question at the end of this podcast episode to say, if you were being 100% efficient in your online business, doing the exact things that you were supposed to be doing at that point in time, then what would your business look like? And sometimes we don't know exactly what we're supposed to be doing, but that's why we get guidance. And that's why we learn and sometimes need to invest in ourselves. And that's exactly where the Profit by Design Academy comes in, because we teach you the exact 5 strategies that Elka and myself use to create our $1 million Zazzle online businesses. And so it gives you the exact roadmap that you need. You don't need to procrastinate and, play around with things or throw spaghetti at the walls to see if it sticks. We tell you the exact roadmap. And so if you're interested in the Profit by Design Academy, or even if you're a beginner, so we've got an online business Kickstarter bootcamp. So it starts you from scratch, and it's for the bare basics, that like the beginning of if you're just starting out on Zazzle. And that will also give you very great guidance in where you need to go so that you don't need to procrastinate trying to figure out what to do. But if you're already in your Zazzle journey and you've been online for a really long time and you're realizing that within your business, you're making certain or taking certain action steps, and then you finally realize that, wait a sec, what happened to the time? 2 hours have gone by and I'm not even sure if I did anything. That's what procrastination is. you put it off and you don't want to do it. And so you just say, oh, I'll do it later, or I'll do it later, or I'll do it later. Or that you just all of a sudden distract yourself by doing something else that you think is important. So what is procrastination? Procrastination is exactly what I just said. Do you find yourself kind of going down the rabbit hole and looking at things or figuring out if things are important because they might be important for your Zazzle business? I know that I've spent many, many hours doing research and things like that I thought would actually be important for the growth of my Zazzle business, but really I was wasting time. Okay. And procrastination can be anything. It can be, as I mentioned, not doing your homework, let's say, you procrastinate when you're in school and you don't want to do your homework. So it can be just like, oh, I'm going to put on a TV show right now and I'll do it in half an hour. Half an hour goes by and then you say, oh, I'll do it in another half an hour. And so that can be one type of procrastination. And then another type is where you think that something else is much more important than the task that you're actually supposed to be doing. I've spent hours and hours of doing research, as I mentioned, just sort of trying to figure out or even convince myself that it was important when really it wasn't. And I was just having fun. So I'm going to ask you a quick question and prompt you. And I'm going to say, what do you hate doing in your online business, whether that be in Zazzle or any type of online business or just in your life in general? Let's say I don't like to exercise. And so I put off exercising. It doesn't need to be related to your online business, but if it is, that's awesome because this is an online business podcast where we talk about making money on Zazzle. And so what do you hate in your online business? Are you extremely upset every time you have to look at the numbers? Or are you worried about design because you think that you're not good enough? Are you scared to even open your computer and look at your earnings because you don't know if they've changed or not? There's a whole bunch of tasks that we tell you to do in the Profit by Design Academy, which is included in those 5 strategies where it gets you to assess your business in certain ways. And those 5 strategies are establish, create, announce, align, and analyze. And if you have any idea on what those mean, that's awesome because we've talked a lot about those on our podcast and our blog and YouTube. If not, I'll give you a little quick rundown here. But within those 5 strategies, there can be certain aspects of things that you really, really hate doing. And then you procrastinate because you don't want to do them. So in Establish, we're building up the bare bound, the foundations of our business, making sure that everything is set up properly and that you have all of the basics that you need to know in terms of, let's say, your niche and your branding and your actual structure of your store. Then there's create, which is creating your products, creating that brand, creating that whole store aspect of things and making sure that you're designing as well the products properly. Announce is all about promotion. So you obviously want to promote your products if you want to be part of the referral program and earn that extra money for referral earnings. And then we've got align, which means that your business should be in alignment with your goals and your vision and your whole structure of your business. And then we have analyze, which means that we go back and we look at the numbers and we see what's working and what's not working and how we can fix it and change it. And so when I said any of those words, there was a trigger for you where you're like, I do not like doing that. A lot of people hate doing promotion. And I can say that from my own experience and also all of our clients. Many of our clients hate promotion because they don't want to become salesy. They don't know how to promote without being over the top. And they also are sometimes very scared of tech. And so they shy away from doing promotion because they just don't want to do it. If any of those 5 strategies or 5 categories, even let's say, create some sort of weird, uncomfortable feeling in your stomach, then you kind of understand now where you hate doing things in your Zazzle business. So I want you to either write them down or just think of them in your head, but have a good understanding on where you're yeah, that's something that I absolutely hate doing. And, every time I have to do it, I have to really force myself to do it. And now I want to say, what do you feel takes the most amount of time in your Zazzle business? Or your online business? What do you spend the most amount of time on? Because as I mentioned, maybe it's really hard for you to overcome your fear of technology or overcome your fear of social media. And so you take a lot of time or even, let's say, put it off and it takes you even longer because you hate doing it and you just are feeling very, very uncomfortable with doing it. So there's 2 aspects to that. What do you hate doing? And then also what takes you the most amount of time? Most of the time, they'll probably be the same, but sometimes they might be different. And then why do you think you feel this way? Why do you think that you feel this uncomfortableness in your stomach when you have to do one of these tasks, right? Is it because you just aren't educated? Or is it because you're truthfully fearful of doing it? Or is it because you just maybe need to learn how to structure it differently so that you feel comfortable doing it in your own way, but you still accomplish it? Okay. So my story about my procrastination with my Zazzle business is that every time that I thought that I was doing something right in my business, I was actually just wasting time. So I would, instead of making products, I would go and I would search all of the different sites for all the different graphics to buy. I would go on to Pinterest and I would see everything that's trending. Then I would go on to Zazzle. I would see everything that's trending, and everything that I didn't have, I needed to buy in terms of like a graphic. And then so I would spend more time researching, just like kind of diving down in this deep rabbit hole of doing research, let's say, or buying graphics, or just having fun on Pinterest, thinking that I was doing something that would actually help me, but I wasn't helping me at all. I was just wasting time. And at the end of the day, even if I bought graphics, I didn't use them because I was so tired and exhausted of doing research, and then so overwhelmed with myself thinking, oh my gosh, so many people have so many more designs than I do. Even though I just bought all these graphics, I'm never going to be able to compete. So I would actually put it off and procrastinate more because I didn't think that I was possible to do it. Okay. So I would waste time having fun on Pinterest, and then I would put off making my designs. So I thought that I was doing something proper for my business, doing the research and learning all the trends and things. But truly, at the end of the day, I wasn't getting anything done. I just bought graphics. I actually spent money. I didn't make money. Okay.
Psst. Have you heard about the online business starter pack yet?
Are you looking for the perfect online business that gives you monthly cash flow so that you can live your dream life, but don't know where to start? Or have you already signed up on our favorite platform called Zazzle, but are now stuck because you don't know what to do next to start selling?
Then the Online Business Starter Pack is the perfect solution for you. You will receive step-by-step video instruction on how to start building your online business using the Zazzle platform.
You will set up your store and make your first product in less than 30 minutes, get the inside scoop on the 10 best-selling products on Zazzle, and feel confident promoting on Pinterest to make money.
If you're looking to easily and quickly start your online business, then head over to the show notes to grab the link to access the Online Business Starter Pack.
Now let's get back to the show.
So I'm sure many of you can relate, because a lot of our clients have told us, confessed in us and said they've got the same sort of problems or issues or procrastination habits. And it's not a bad thing. It's just that maybe we need to fix it or change it so that it's more productive for you. Okay. Sometimes procrastination is also showing you what you either aren't capable of doing or what you truly, truly hate doing, and that maybe we can switch it around and see if we can change the way we approach that. Or you might even need to source it out. Or maybe it's not even important for your Zazzle business and you're making it such a big deal, thinking that it's very important when it's truly not. Okay. I was part of a coaching program where we were speaking about procrastination and speaking about productivity and how to get tasks done efficiently and with intention. And our coach had mentioned that procrastination isn't only for, kids in high school. People our age and adults do it as well. And it's basically showing you exactly what you don't want to do or what you shouldn't waste your time on. But you have to assess it properly, because if you're not actually putting in the effort and trying to do it and just saying, oh, I'd rather go on Pinterest, then this exercise won't work for you. But if you are truly trying your hardest to get something done, but you just end up procrastinating or not wanting to do it, or it just feels really, really bad for you, then it might be showing you internally in your subconscious that that task is not for you. Maybe you don't need to do it. And maybe you can outsource it. Maybe if Pinterest or social media is something that you cannot do because you just mentally cannot be capable of doing it, then maybe you hire an assistant, or maybe you get your niece or nephew or son or daughter, even spouse, to help you with your social media. A lot of our clients do that. They have family members who help them with certain aspects of their business that they're not comfortable doing, and it really works out for them. Okay. And so we need to change the approach that we look at it. Maybe you don't need to do it yourself, but maybe you can get someone else to do it. Or maybe it's not extremely important and you just do it a little bit. Or we change the approach, right? If you think that social media is because you need to have a huge following and you need to be social and be on camera, then we need to change your perspective, because most of the social media promotion that we talk about in our Profit by Design Academy is to pin on Pinterest. And on Pinterest, you don't need to be social at all, and you don't need to have a following. All you need to do is do the proper pins and get the proper traction, right? But you don't need to do anything more than that. You don't need to be on camera. You don't need to have a huge following. You don't need to be social. And so sometimes when we change our perspective as well, things change too. So as I mentioned, procrastination might be doing something or showing you internally that you're doing something that you don't need to do, or change your perspective. So I want you to assess what you think you should be doing or meant to be doing in your Zazzle business. Like, what are the most important aspects of creating a profitable business? If you are in the Profit by Design Academy, then you know the 5 strategies, right? Those 5 strategies are crucial. But if you're not in the Profit by Design Academy and you're just learning through our podcasts and our free material on YouTube, let's say, or in our Facebook community, you still have a pretty good understanding of what you need to do to have a profitable business. And so I want you to journal or write down on your computer or even on your cell phone, what do you think you're meant to be doing and why is it important? Okay. Because this is very important. We need to know what we think we're meant to be doing. And if we then assess if it's necessary for our business, then maybe we can change the way that we're procrastinating. Because if we think we're meaning to do that research on Pinterest for 2 hours every single day, which really we're not supposed to be doing, is it necessary? Probably not. Is it truly necessary? Definitely not. Is being on Pinterest and knowing like what's trending and, getting those mood boards together and doing social media promotion is necessary? Definitely, if you want to make that extra referral income. But is spending 2 hours on Pinterest going down the rabbit hole extremely necessary for your Zazzle business? It's definitely not. And I can tell you from my own personal experience. Okay. So if you have a relatable, habit that you do or procrastination go to, then write them down and say, I think I'm meant to be doing this, but is it truly necessary? And you say yes or no. Okay. And then the next one is, if it's a yes, and if you don't want to do it, if it's something that you hate doing, can you source it out? Which means, can you hire somebody? Can you get one of your family members? There's a lot of automation platforms now, let's say, and I'm talking specifically about social media, but if you can figure out a way to change your perspective on how you can get that task done, then you can write that down in your journal or wherever you're writing this note here now. So what am I meant to be doing? Or what do I think is meant to be done? Is it necessary? And if not, or if it is, can I source it out if I hate it or change it? And what can we do to change it so that it's profitable for me and my Zazzle business? Because if you're struggling and you're procrastinating, you're actually losing money. Like, you're wasting time to lose money. Because every moment that you're not taking intentional action steps in your Zazzle business, you're losing money. You're losing the potential to earn another amount of money online. Okay. So my exercise for your procrastination, and I'm reading my notes here, is journal what you do for procrastination. So do you buy designs like me? Do you go on Pinterest? Maybe you look at blogs or just watch YouTube tutorials all day long? What do you do in your procrastination habits? And catch yourself, and if you are actually conscious of the fact that you're procrastinating, then you can actually assess like how long you actually done it for. Because I've been down that rabbit hole, let's so to say, and all of a sudden 45 minutes is gone, or 2 hours even. And you're just like, how the heck did that even happen? I wasted 2 hours looking at birthday party supplies on Pinterest. Do I need to be doing that? So if you're conscious of the fact that you're going to catch yourself in those moments, then write them down in your journal and say, okay, today I did 2 hours of Pinterest surfing. I'm going to be conscious of the fact that next time I start to go onto Pinterest, I'm going to limit the amount of time that I'm on there. Then I also want you to journal about what you're meant to be doing in your business and why it's important. And you should do this quite regularly, right? Because as soon as you write it down on either paper or on your computer, you're conscious of it. You're consciously thinking of what is important and what's not important. And if you're not in that space, in that mindset, then you're just going to be procrastinating, doing whatever you want, whenever you want, and it won't matter to you. But when you're actually starting to be conscious of the fact that you're supposed to be doing something when you're not, or vice versa, then you'll start to actually take more action steps to get the things done that need to be done. Okay. And now the last kind of thing is put a timer on your phone. Right? 15 minute slots, periods of time. We talk about a lot of time management techniques in the Profit by Design Academy and productivity techniques. But a quick and easy one is just put a timer on your phone or actually be conscious of the time that you started something and that you finished something. How can you make that more efficient? How can you use your time more wisely? Okay. And then also community and accountability. In the Profit by Design Academy, we have a co-working session, which is an hour on Zoom, and you don't have to have your cameras on, and you're just basically working in a group online with people so that within that hour, you get exactly what you need to get done, and you're being held accountable by our community and also by our team. And then you can actually feel good about yourself that you've gotten that thing done, right? Rather than just wasting time. And when no one's around you, the only person that needs to hold you accountable is you. And I know that our sense of responsibility is amazing and we're being our own bosses because we know that we can hold ourselves accountable. But if you have problems with that and you're procrastinating, then, you just need to have that extra support. And maybe that's necessary for you and your productivity and your procrastination. Okay. So I hope these tips have helped you. If you have any comments or questions, then write them in the notes below or the comments below, wherever you are on YouTube or on the podcast. And thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast with us, Jen and Elka Clark.
We hope this episode has given you actionable steps to building your online business that gives you the monthly cash flow you want while working less and living more.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Each review helps us reach more entrepreneurs like you working to create a profitable e-commerce online business.
Follow us on Instagram at Ms. Jen Clark and at Elka Clark and DM us with your biggest takeaway from today's episode. See you back here next week.